Eastern Outdoor Expeditions is brought to you in part by Ultra Pro X Action Cams, East Coast Equipment, home of the John Deere, Fisher Research Labs, and Hover Technics Incorporated.
I'm Tim Fisher with Eastern Expedition Equipment, and my friend Thomas here and Ross, and we're getting ready to do a little expedition at a gold mine. It's a gold mine, really popular gold mine, so we've been told, in the northern part of our county, not far from here. It's the old Portus gold mine, and did a little talking, a little calling, got rights to get in there so we can get in and do a little gold mining, a little prospecting. But got a really cool map. We're gonna see what we can find on there. You know, possibility of some, maybe some gold on there, and what kind of artifacts we might dig up as well. But it's a gold mine that dates on back, and it'd be cool if we could find out some information on it. You reckon you could help us out and do a little research? And
yeah, do a little digging. Go by the local library, see what I can pull up if there's anything on the internet. You know how that goes. Sometimes you can get some information off of there, sometimes you can't. But we'll do that and see what we can find.
All right.
Give us a little detail.
That will sure help out, and we'll team up and find out, you know, what you found out, and I'll get with Chris, and we'll see if we can head out there and
get our hands dirty.
Yeah, see what we can dig up and what we can find, and we'll let you know what we find out on the hunt, guys. Okay guys, we're taking the drone up today to see if we can get a little aerial footage of the big spread that's at the Portus gold mine. It's a very big gold mining operation, and so we're trying to get some footage, and we're taking it out. Chris is on the Argo. We're trying to cut through some of these paths to see what we can find out about best locations for a little panning. The holding tank forms for the old wash plant. It's amazing, just all the historical things that's happened on this one piece of property, you know, and with finding gold in the numbers of $3 million just on this property, it's just amazing. And you know, with the visit of several important people such as Thomas Edison and Mark Twain, and just so many exciting things that's happened on this property. You know, we're on the hunt to try to find out more clues about what's going on here. Man, back in the day when the old Portus gold mine was really getting started and they were finding large amounts of gold there, it just really boomed quick, and people coming from all different states. And on one particular night they had a shootout, and in that shootout 14 men were killed, and they were all from different states, and it was said that they were buried in the shape of the Union. Eastern Outdoor Expeditions is brought to you by Ultra Pro Cams, the Action Cam. at the Cool gold mine in the northern part of Nash County. It's been here since the early 1800s. A lot of gold found here. Unbelievable place. Millions and millions of dollars worth of gold has been pulled out here. A lot of historical people have visited this place. Back in the day, Mark Twain visited this place, and Thomas Edison visited this place. And there's also records of the Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. Their first show in North Carolina they ever did was right here. A lot of history here. Just unbelievable. But as you can see, it's the reddest dirt. Man, it's like being on Mars. Check this dirt out right here. I mean, it is red. Red dirt. You can see it, get a good shot of it, but it's like being on Mars. Turns your hands red, turns your clothes red. And that was a problem back when they were doing all the mining here. It was a real big problem. It just turned everything red that it touched. It stained everything, and it was extremely hard to find the gold in this red, watery mud. But you know, they stayed with it, and most of the companies that came in and did the mining, they stuck it out and had really good returns on their time in the end. What you're seeing right in front of you, I'll give you some better footage a little later on, but that's where the last actual tamping mill was, where they crushed up the stones, and that's where they got the gold and extracted the gold out of the rocks. I'll show you an example of that. Here's some examples of what they were getting out of the ground. As you can see, it's a quartz rock. And there were veins of quartz, really big veins of quartz out here. And what they would do is they crush up these rocks. They'd find veins of gold in these rocks. And so what they do is they crush them up and just into a powder form almost, or into chunks like this, to where they knew there wasn't any gold in these bigger outside pieces. They discard this, and then they'd get the gold out of the finely ground rocks. And that's behind me. There used to be a tamping mill there, and that's what that did. It tamped out the rock and separated it so you could get the gold and then melt it down to sell. We're on the hunt again, trying to find a little gold today. We're in the northern part of Nash County in an old 18th century gold mine, and has been extremely successful over the years. And we thought we'd come in here and just try a hand at it a little bit and see what we could find. I got with me today Chris May and Ross Fisher and Tim Fisher himself, and we're trying to do a little panning, just like they used to do it in the old days. And Chris is quite knowledgeable about the gold panning stuff.
I know a little bit.
Well, every little bit helps.
Well, let's get at it before it starts raining on us and see if we can get some gold in the pan.
All right, let's see what we can do, guys. Doing a little test panning right here, like they would have done in the old days, just to give you an idea of just how it was done back then. And they might come into a little creek bed where there's some rocks gathered at that might hold some gold in, and what they'd do is they'd run some little test pans all along the way to try to find out where the gold was sitting at and if there's even any gold in this area. So right now he's performing that operation like they would have done a long time ago. And as you can see, this area has some really red clay, and it was always quite a problem for the miners because it had to be washed over and over and over to get enough clarity to see what was going on. So it made it quite hard to do the test pans. I mean, it's very time consuming, but so much of the time it was well worthwhile of taking that time, because in the late 1800s and early 1900s, this property was extremely rich in gold. And for years and years, mining operations came and went, but they always seemed to find gold. And but it always was sort of a bit more involved as far as work, just because of this red clay, and to get the color out of the water so that you could see what might be in that pan. But hopefully we're going to find out here shortly if there's anything in this particular area where the water's rafted up on these rocks, if any gold has collected. We'll see what's going on. And Chris May's doing a fine job there. Get in a little sunlight area somewhere where there's a gleam of light would help.
Oh yeah, there's some gold in here that's it's got mercury on it. Oh, there's some yellow gold. A lot of real fine flower gold.
They're out today. If we can catch a ray of sun coming in, we might could see that gold shining in the bottom.
It's so fine and so much black sand. There's like a speck here.
There's no way you can kind of pull it where it's mainly all green. It was hard to do.
Put little pieces like that in there.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Well, you won't get rich panning here.
But it is cool to see how they did it a long time ago and actually see a few flakes of gold.
And we'll put it back in the creek so it can grow up and be big gold one day.
Sounds like a good plan. Eastern Outdoor Expeditions is brought to you by East Coast Equipment, home of the John Deere.
Ross is working his pan down. He's getting the blonde sand, which is the lighter sand, out, and you can see in there a lot of black sand. And the black sand is a lot of magnetite, and it's very heavy. That's where you'll find your gold as well, because gold is very heavy. It's 19 times heavier than water. And now he's working it down so he can get to the finer stuff and the heavier stuff.
We pulled up here, guys, to there's an old tunnel that they dug that went under a train track and under a major highway, and we're getting ready to step in here, hopefully before the storm cranks up, and see if we can show y'all.
We don't have Spider-Man.
Yeah. But we're gonna see if we can cut through here, show you this thing. You can see how the land goes way up, and way back in its day, this was all not filled in. And you can see it's almost like a deep gully and valley that goes on down that way, and we'll show you the entrance to the tunnel. And it was a tunnel that they used to get the water for the wash plant over here on this side, and they had a big reservoir on the other side of the road. And so you can see, we come up on it, there's what's left of the tunnel. Don't know what's in there. It might be a bear, anything, who knows. Ross is kind of checking it out first. He's younger than we are. He can run a little faster and yell a little louder. Give us old folks a head start. Ain't that right, Chris?
Yeah. We're checking out the storm.
Oh yeah, she's coming on quick. We ain't gonna be here long, and we might get a bath. But
can you smell fresh air coming out of it? I don't know. It's cool though. I feel like it's breathing well. It's cool though.
and it may still be connected partially to the other side. We don't know that yet. We'll have to run some camera equipment in there to see, because entering that thing right now might be more dangerous than we need to push. So other than just peeping in just a little ways, really it's something we need to get camera gear in just to see how it looks under there. Yeah, safety first, man. We gotta, if that falls on top of you, that's all she wrote, man. But that does go under the road and the train, and there was a train track at one time, and so they had to have a tunnel to go to the other side. And all this is on some of the old maps that we have, and we'll show you that as well. That's a pretty dark looking cloud coming, and we checked it on radar, and it's a pretty big storm heading this way, and it looks like it's gonna last a while. You can hear the thunder off in the distance.
Eastern Outdoor Expeditions is brought to you in part by Fisher Research Labs, and Hover Technics Incorporated.
I told you to show you something. Get down here in the light where you can see it real good. I think you'll be impressed. That's one pretty nugget right there. Small, but it is what it is. And it's just a little smidgen of what we got out of one of the little test buckets just to see what was in it. Pretty piece of gold. See if we can get it out here, and I'll show you a little better in just a minute. We're back again on the hunt. We just came back from the Portis Gold Mine and found some right interesting stuff. Thomas, what did you find out about research?
Look up a little information here. Just one little article there you can kind of check out. But seems like it started back around 1835. Seems like evidently one of the guys there at Portis, man, says he was kind of walking around, found some of these yellow stones. I guess back then they didn't really know a whole lot. And it kind of similar to with the reed. I found a gold rock there, didn't know what it was. Guy comes along, kind of knows what it is, and that kind of kicks off the rush, and they go down there. Pretty big thing. They evidently would have found out they pulled out about $3 million worth of gold out of there, and actually sent that over to the first mint, which was up in Charlotte. And that was one of the reasons that they used that. Had a lot of big people came there. Mark Twain, Edison. Thomas Edison went there.
Man, that's pretty serious business, man.
Cool, yeah, it's pretty neat. One of the neat things was that the Barnum Bailey, the circus, was actually one of their first performances right there around that mine. So, I guess, even back then they had to have some kind of entertainment, something for them to do when they weren't working.
Yeah.
To kind of sit back and relax a little.
That's some pretty serious folks, definitely. I mean, that era of time, that's pretty serious.
They, there was some stuff in there. They kind of compared it to some of their stuff out in the old mining camps out in the West, I guess, they had their good things and had some bad, I think they did, since they had a lot of little drinking going on, they might have had a couple murders and things like that.
And everything else. Everybody trying to get the gold out of it.
Everybody's,
That's a whole lot of gold, man, from back then.
Yeah, it was. That was a lot of money back then, And, a lot of that stuff, all that leads up to pre-Civil War, time. So, but, that was a pretty active site, There's a lot of history there.
Yeah, I did hear from one of the locals at Stowhide was mentioning this, what we were doing down there. And he was telling me one of the last operations that they had going on in the gold mine was around 1935. And the guy that was running it was actually the Olds man that started the Oldsmobile cars. It was that guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that, he can remember back, his dad talking about the operation working and how the Olds man was the guy that was one of the last ones to run the gold mine. He had plenty of money and he ran it for a little while, but it wasn't producing enough to really keep it going, and so it just kind of closed up, and it's been sitting since around 1935, 1936 is when I think it kind of stopped along in there. Yeah. And so it's pretty cool to step on a place that's been pretty much abandoned, or just not in use all these years. And I think they taken down all the equipment, all the concrete structures there that housed, the foundations for all the equipment.
Right.
But, and that's pretty cool to see because it was from a long time back and still there, But we did pretty good. Found just a little bit of gold, didn't we, Ross?
Yeah, we did. I think I got a hole in the pocket there.
No, we talking like that, man. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
We got a good little ball of it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's some good stuff there.
First gold we found off the site.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't nothing to get rich off of.
That's right.
It's something you can sit there and set up on your counter and say, hey,
Yeah.
that's a part of history.
It is.
Yeah, it is. That's
there.
pretty neat.
A lot of people don't realize, we talk about all these mines and stuff and all the things that went on and, the amount of gold that they did pull out. But back then, things were, a little bit different versus like nowadays, you take a company and want to try to come in there they can't justify the cost of the equipment
Yeah.
to come in and mine a place like that now,
Right.
because they're not gonna get enough out of there,
Yeah,
you know?
that's right.
And that's, you know, a lot of times, you know, depending on how the economy was and depression and things like that, that's why the, you know, place is kind of gone now, you know?
It's a pretty cool place, and I think there's probably a lot of gold still up there.
Yeah.
But anyway, just to let you guys know, we did get rights to check the place out and just to get some footage for everybody to see. It is posted property and it's private property, but
Yeah, we ain't doing no slipping to get over there.
no, we went about it the right way.
Yes.
But we want to be able to show you guys that, you know, it was cool to see what an old gold mine place looked like, you know, back then, and to show you, just to give you a little taste of what it would be like to try to pan some gold, just to give you that experience anyway. But hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll catch you next time on The Hunt.